Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing very, very well. I realize it's been a little while since I've seen everybody. Probably about 3 weeks at this point. Um, Last time I saw you was before I went into my ayahuasca ceremony, and I've been taking some time to just integrate this whole experience. And for those who don't know, that's how I spent my new year. Was basically ringing in the new year with an ayahuasca ceremony. It's 3 days, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. And without getting into too much detail of it, it was the most powerful, likely the most powerful experience and transformative experience of my life. Um, Again, without going into the detail of all the specifics, because there's no way to relay all of that wisdom and all of what has took place in the aftermath. Um, there's no way to contextualize that I know of yet, unless a person has actually experienced it themselves. So if you have, then you know. But how that showed up for me today and why it felt important to kind of dive back into this, I'm a little bit nervous, honestly. Uh, it's been, like I said, it's been 3 weeks, so I'm a little bit out of my rhythm when it comes to recording these videos. But how that showed up for me today was I could basically distill it down to one thing, and that's allowing versus controlling. Um, like, am I actually trusting? Am I trusting the flow of life and what it's presenting to me? Or am I trying to manipulate it and assert my will or dominance over it? Um, that was one of the biggest lessons that came through with Aya. Because for those of you who know, if you've experienced it, then you know what I'm talking about when you say, when I say that you're given real time, immediate feedback every single moment that you are trying to control the experience. If you're trying to control the medicine, if you're trying to do anything other than surrender and allow the moment to be exactly what it is, the medicine tells you. That was one of the biggest lessons that I received from it, is basically learning to trust and take guidance in every moment. Whether it's a certain kind of movement, whether it is a certain kind of speech pattern, or a certain kind of singing, whatever it is, you put yourself into a state where you are getting out of your own way, where you are relaxing into a state of full receivership, and taking guidance from a power that is far beyond you. And by you, I mean egoic you. Some people have called it the meat suit, the ego, and making way for the much, much greater you, which is that part of you which is connected to and of God, that is pure spirit. And this showed up in my life yesterday. I won't get into the details of what necessarily. But basically, had a situation where I was in a conversation with somebody who I love very, very dearly. And I really like, I love their excitement and I love their enthusiasm. And actually, their excitement and their enthusiasm was something that was in relation to something that I was calling in for myself. Like, I'd actually had a meditation where I was really, really opening up to a lot of abundance, really, really opening up to a lot more wealth, and realizing that it didn't have to be hard, that I don't have to force these things, that I can actually sit back and allow experiences to be drawn to me, allow myself to be uh, essentially a magnet for these experiences to come. And there was just such a depth to the peace that I felt in that. And then life started giving circumstances that were a match for that. Because that was what I'm realizing, even though it's such a cliche thing at this point, the law of attraction, it is real. And when you are really, really tapped in to the flow of life, you realize the truth of that. It is simply how the world operates. That like attracts like, that if you have a clear intention in your mind, one that you've allowed, you have a deep, open heart, you have a clear emotional channel, clear mental channel, then things start to line up. Things start to match that for you. Well, this conversation with my friend was an example of that. And that's the key thing. It was an example of that. It's not that what he presented to me wasn't a bad thing or anything like that. It was actually really, really wonderful. It was a very, very energizing conversation. I enjoyed it. He was bringing some things to me that were representative of bringing more abundance into my life. But what started to shift in me, and this is nothing, he didn't do anything wrong. He was showing up exactly as he was supposed to show up. It was my response to it. My response to it was my mind started to get activated. And my mind started to be like, ooh, okay, so you can do this and this and this and this and this. And started to try to come in and manipulate and control the information that he was giving me, to be able to hold on to it and manipulate it into what I thought, what my mind thought was going to be the best way for things to go. And that control, it tainted is a strong word, but I'm going to use that, is that it tainted the rest of my interactions throughout the rest of the day. There was a flavor of control. There was a flavor of grasping, of holding on to what my mind thought it needed to do. And what I really realized is that there was a snowball effect of things not working out, of there being a lot of disharmony, a lot of I guess I could leave it at that. There was a lot of disharmony. It's not that things were bad, it wasn't a bad day, but it was off. There was something about it that wasn't in alignment, something about it that wasn't in flow. I wasn't trusting the current of life. I was attempting to control the current of life. And that is always, always, always going to put you into sticky situations or put you into hot water. A lot of people don't have that level of sensitivity to that, so they're constantly forcing, constantly trying to control, and therefore end up in hot water after hot water after hot water after hot water, It never stops. That's their life, is very, very chaotic. And not saying that I'm without that, you know, I'm aware of it and am actively making steps to change that. But I'm certainly not perfect. Not even close. But in becoming more aware of that, though, I am starting to slowly but surely fully relinquish control of my life, recognizing that I'm living this life, but I don't own it. It's not mine to necessarily do with what I will. It is and it isn't. What I realize is that in the part that it is, like it is my life, but if I'm treating it that way, it's not going to be a great life. When I become humble and I realize that this isn't just my life, and I start to surrender and relax and trust and have faith that my life is working out for me exactly as it was planned, that's when my life becomes magical. So that is, I guess, my message for today and what felt like it wanted to get spoken out was that relaxing into the flow of life really, to me, feels like the key. And it feels like an extremely important thing to be reminded of. You know, this video is as much for me as it is for you. Um, I don't have answers. I don't have answers. I have intuitions, guidance that is coming through me, but it's not mine. I'm representative of the actual truth, and I'm learning more and more that the only actual truth comes through consistent daily practices, the consistent daily practices of prayer and meditation. Only you have the answers for yourself in any given moment. And that would be my only piece of advice, my piece of guidance to you would be to take that time, meditate every day, every night as well. Go into your dream world with that same level of clearness, of clarity that prayer brings, that meditation brings. And I have a feeling that you will start to witness a tremendous amount of powerful shifts in your life, a tremendous amount of clarity and guidance and direction and ultimately peace. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that as my message for today. I hope this finds you well. I hope that you are enjoying these, and I hope that you enjoy seeing me again, because it's nice to be back again. So, sending you a lot of love wherever you are, and already looking forward to talking with you again soon. Bye bye.